Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. My virtual obsession, my romantic thriller, is now available on Amazon and other online retailers. This book explores the intersection of loneliness, love, and how chasing perfection through technology can lead to fantasy and reality colliding. My virtual obsession out now. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Crestani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I'm joined by the beautiful Karina La Puma. She is the author of the series, A Toolkit for Awakening, an oracle healer, a catalyst, and empowerment coach. She is a spiritual author and an ordained priestess who helps people awaken their radiant self through astrology, tarot, archetypal psychology, and her SoulSource Radiance system. So a big welcome to the show, Karina.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And I'm so excited to learn about all the different aspects. But the first thing I want to ask is about Soul Radiant system that you've created. So I would love if you felt to share a bit more.
Okay. The thing I'm most excited about is embodied radiance, because I think embodiment is where it is, because we need to come into the body and feel the presence. And the radiance is bringing the divine inside. So when I was doing a meditation of just opening my left hand and putting my right hand on my body somewhere, sometimes where it hurts, or just called it in, I was just starting to buzz and be so excited, just a calm, quiet excitement. And then I had to learn, because I was like my whole upper body, and then I had to learn to bring it into my legs. And so what I do, Catherine, is I've been writing for decades. I'm having I can't even tell you what birthday. It's just kind of shocking. But I'm having my birthday, and I've been writing for, I'd say, 30 years. And I've been writing about the goddess warrior on the hero's journey. And goddess warrior means many, many things. And one of the culminations it means is embodied, means the warrior, and the goddess is radiance. This toolkit for awakening have a series of books. This is my books.
Wow, amazing.
This one is not even started, this one, but these are, I have 8 really complete, and I'm putting them out this year. Awaken Magnetic Creation. I call this series a toolkit for awakening. So the first thing is, if you believe that the divine light shines within, then you're a goddess, whether you're a male or female. If you want to grow and be a better human being, you're a warrior. And if you follow 6 initiations and give back to the world, then you're a hero. So these books are aspects of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey that he wrote in 1949. And I've taken them and, modernized them in a sense.
Yeah. And then I imagine as well adding into your spiritual journey and the embodiment that you found and how to embody the radiance. So it's almost like a guided active practice, I would say.
Then I started writing, and because I went into the hero's journey very deeply. And I love my books because this is the book I'm publishing this book is publishing in May.
Oh, beautiful. It'll be out by the time this is out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then I'll have a few out, and there are tons of pictures.
Yeah.
So there are 200 photographs that make it big print. So it's really easy to read my book, because you can just, you can read them on different levels. And so anyway, the goddess warrior on the hero's journey is the model that I've been working with. And like a symbols mean many things. You throw a rock in the water and it means, so a goddess is to love and allow. So whenever you're loving and allowing, you're into your goddess nature. And that you believe that, the saying that we're really spiritual beings having a physical experience.
Yes.
The warrior is about being intentional or accountable for your time, attention, and intention. Warrior, it's a really a balanced model where the male and the female come together as an integrated whole. So
Yeah.
I mean, it came to me. It came up from the unconscious.
You birthed your creation into the world. Yeah.
I'm birthing. Yeah.
I love the timing of this because I'm actually speaking at a conference in 2 days' time, and it's called Empower to. But the
Right.
topic I'm talking about is birthing your soul essence through creativity, and you just captured that so beautifully, Karina. Because exactly like you said, it rises up within you, and it needs to find a way to come out and be shared with the world. Because there's so much old wisdom from us as souls, but also that the earth has been holding, that it just things have shifted enough that it's time for this to all be birthed.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah. And I love too that we were talking briefly about like the astrology aspect of that, because we're in that energy that is allowing that divine feminine to come in, but also to find that balance with the divine masculine.
Well, that's what the Aquarian age is. The balance of the energy. It's an androgynous sign, and it means that since we're so patriarchal, and we're in America are experiencing such. The word is Watiko. Have you heard that word? It's an
No.
amazing. It's a word that is from Native American, and it has to do with a mind virus that has taken over, and it has to do with entitlement. It has to do with greed, and it's a quality within us that we have, we see it. It's really blatant. The shadow of the male supremacy is really up for us, but we need to look at it within ourselves. Where do we have this? So it's a powerful. I've just learned about this new word, and you can really see it in humanity right now.
Yeah, because there's such a high level of disconnect, right? From ourselves, from our intuition, from nature, from all those things that are happening around us. And, it is a virus of the mind, because people feel that, well, we've been conditioned, right, to make decisions with our head instead of trusting our heart, checking in with our gut, and then going to the head to get that kind of reassurance there. But this is exactly what you said. It's this entitlement and everything like that, which is really an interesting perspective or even I always say it's like a popcorn show, right? Like I say, get your popcorn out and keep watching, because it is like watching a movie, because you can't believe half the events that are happening.
I know. It's amazing. Yeah.
And for people who are reading your book or starting to read your series, what do you hope's interwoven between each of them? Like you mentioned, going from the goddess, the warrior to the hero. Is there like activations that happen through that, or is there like an immersion, or what kind of outcome can people expect?
Well, each so there's different subjects for many of these books. So the book on magnetic creation, I saw that we have an enormous power of our mind to influence matter. We can actually, I wrote 2 chapters from the biblical times, from Dead Sea Scrolls to all the way up to New Thought movements, to people telling us that we have this power to create, and we're doing it consciously or unconsciously. So this particular book, as Awaken Magnetic Creation, is the aspect of the hero's journey, which is crossing the threshold. So once you learn that you have this power, to create, you're in another world of manifestation. So each aspect of the book is related to the hero's journey, because it's the step by step, and the goddess warrior is woven through it throughout. So
Yeah, and
this was my first book. These are the old copies, but this is Awaken Female Power. I wrote this in 1990, and this is The Way of the Goddess Warrior. And that's the female. Wake up, be centered, and invoke the goddess. And I just want to say, how to invoke the goddess? Resist nothing.
resist nothing.
Resist nothing when you're in the goddess state. that feeling of receptivity. Goddess looks at how similar we are, how we connect, what we have in common. That whole allowing, and that makes you magnetic, is being in that space of surrender and resisting nothing. That's creating magnetically, is first removing the resistance and then creating through the focus of the mind and setting into.
Yeah, and then being open to receive, right? Because a lot of people forget to check that aspect. You know, that we focus so much on giving, but then we forgot to check our back, which is where we receive the energy.
There's a chapter in that, as I'm a giver, and so I had to learn how to receive. You know, even someone say, "Oh, you're pretty." Well, you are too. I mean, it was like a hot potato. I had to give it right back. Receiving is giving to yourself, really learning to,
and accepting as well, because it's like and being aware that you do get these beautiful gifts. Like, I walked out on our driveway before just to check the letterbox, and the cockatoos had pulled all the flowers off the gum tree, and they were all over the driveway, and it was just so beautiful because these beautiful little flowers. I was like, oh, thank you for this gift. Like, what an amazing gift. So I picked them all up and I came inside and I showed my husband. He goes, aren't they amazing? And I was like, yeah. And I put them in a beautiful jar of water where we can now just observe and give gratitude to that. Most people just go, oh, look what the cockatoos did. They just threw the flowers on the ground, rather than seeing it, oh, look what Mother Nature gifted us today. And sometimes we get so fixated on just the material aspects of receiving, like money and material things. Like you said, that disease of the mind, that beautiful word, the same. Chico, yeah. But at the same time, abundance comes in so many forms. And when you start to see the abundance on these other levels, that is when you start to get it through financial and through money and all those sorts of things, because you need to embrace all those other aspects as well.
You're bringing up one of the laws. I talk about 12 laws of prosperity, you know, the law of attraction, the law of oneness, the law of inverse transformation, which means you infuse your thoughts with what you want. But one is very important thing, and this is what you reminded me of, is the law of sufficiency. You cannot create, because you create through a vibration. Neville was a teacher in the 90s, and he wasn't really connected to the New Thought movement. He said that the steps to getting there are being there. You can have what you want, you just have to be it first. So he says, live from the end. That's basically his quote, live from the end. But in the state of a sufficiency, and which means that state of abundance, is that there's enough. It's like if you wanted to buy a new house, like you're talking about having a new house, you have to keep the vibration that this house is okay, nice, but I want a different thing. You can't be in a misery, lack state and create this beautiful vision that you want. That's what you were talking about in a roundabout way, the law of sufficiency. Keep that openness and abundance in your heart, and that there's enough, I'm enough. That feeling is a really...
Yeah. And I love that too, because it's about challenging a lot of the beliefs that have been imprinted in our systems too, that, you know, we have to be scarcity, or, you know, money's evil. Like, that's money things as well. But also just looking for that, like you said, there's always enough. You know, when you start to acknowledge that, then you keep receiving more at the same time, you know. And I always say to people, if you don't know what to be grateful for, just say thank you for the good I cannot see. Because I heard someone else say that, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I do that. If I have really tough days, I say thank you for the good I cannot see. There's something else going on. Yeah.
And it's saying gratitude always makes space for more.
100%. So, you know, even I remember learning from this person, and she said, you know, she'd go to work and her boss would pick on her all the time. There was always this conflict. And she's like, right, I'm going to write why I'm grateful at work. And nothing shifted. And then she realized she had to write why she's grateful for her boss, even though there was this animosity towards her and everything. So she wrote things like, I'm grateful her shoes match her outfit. I'm grateful that she's on time. I'm grateful that she loves her child, you know. And she said it actually shifted the energy, because it went from that to attracts more of that to actually I'm going to be open. And like you said, the law of sufficiency, and there's enough, and all those sorts of shifts that way too.
The Hero's Journey has 6 initiations that I call them the cosmic code, or the curriculum, the cosmic curriculum. And the first one is to be proactive. Focus on what you want to become, not what you want to overcome.
I
And
love
that's ruled by Mercury in the astrology. And Mercury is ruled by two signs. So I always say this is really important. And the second one is love and allow. And this is meeting the goddess. Those are Campbell's terms. So that's also two signs. So if you only remember those two things to live by, you're halfway there. To be proactive and to love and allow and accept what is, that receptive space. And the third one is to beware of the temptress, or beware of struggle, control, and drama, creating drama. And when you talk about, this is my sin. I talk about, I'm an expressor, so I talk about what isn't, I report, and what doesn't working. So that's a drama queen in a sense.
Someone once said you should give yourself permission to talk about something that happened to you or for you, and talk about it 3 times. So once with your loved one, once with a friend, and once with somebody else, and then let it go.
That's exactly.
Yeah, otherwise it becomes a drama cycle and you get stuck in the perpetual victim mode.
Exactly.
Unless, the only condition I found was that unless you can see how that becomes the story that you relate to others and apply it. So like I had this incident where I broke my toe, but it became a learning point because I was ignoring signs that were happening in my body to the point the universe kept turning it up. So I broke my toe. So I don't have any emotional attachment to it anymore. It's like, this is what happened and this is why it happened, and this is what it taught me. So hopefully this can resonate with you. But I 100% understand what you mean by the temptress of, oh no, I've got to control this, I've got to make it happen, because I'm so guilty of trying to do that with lots of aspects. And it's letting go, that perfectionism. It's letting go of having to be the center of attention and all those things that we kind of, our ego craves as well. Number 4
is the warrior. Be accountable for your time, attention, and intention. So that's all. So the only place is here, the only time is now, and set intentions for your day, for your hour, for what. That's basically warrior, and be accountable for it. And the next one is make life sacred. These are Campbell uses apotheosis, or the other one, the warrior, was atonement with the Father. But this is how we can bring it down. And I like to use this Gandhi quote, which is the change you want to see in the world. Because my belief is if you do these 5 other ones, then you will have the ultimate boon, which is transformation. And that also tells us to live in that vibration of what we truly desire, being it.
Thank you. I use that quote all the time, but I didn't know who said it, so now I do. So thank you.
Make life sacred in the 6th one, yeah. So that's the middle part of the hero's journey. And the first part is about separating from the past. And the first one is the call to adventure. People that are listening have already heard the call. They want to know more. They want to be in the great adventure. And then there's the refusals to the call. And this is the ego. I have a book on Awaken from the Ego. And I also have a book called Awaken from the Pain Body. And that has to do with 14 emotional patterns, as you were saying, the conditioning that we have. So those are 2 aspects of our refusal. And Campbell calls it the refusal and the belly of the whale. And supernatural aids is one. And I have a tarot book. This is a tarot book that I wrote, Awaken to Tarot. It took me 30 years to write this book. I wrote it like 5 years into reading the tarot, and I researched all the different things, and then I said, "Ooh, this is over my head," and I created a tarot deck that is digitally created.
Amazing. It looks beautiful.
And so that goes with the deck. So this is to me how to find your supernatural. These are magical helpers, the archetypes, the messages of the cards. And this is the way you can learn to use this is all complete, inner system of how you can Be your own guide, it says, with astrology numbers and the tree of life. So this is somehow, awakening the intuition, but the helpers are there. It can be a dream, the many, many different ways we listen to our intuition. It can be a song on the radio.
Yes, or in your head that won't go away. Why am I listening to The Power of Love for the 30th time today in my head? So and I love that you brought that up, because it's so true. We all have, like, if you believe it or not, we actually all have beautiful psychic spiritual gifts. It's just if we choose to allow them to come back out again. And if it is through tarot, I know my cousin, she picked up a tarot deck for the first time and then just started using it. She's like, I don't know how. I said, it's a soul memory. She goes, I just understood it as soon as I put the cards out. She's like, I've never seen it before, like from that, like a reader perspective. And
well, another thing is you can just look at the pictures and see what it says and trust yourself.
Exactly. And this is where people are like, tarot is complicated. We'll start with oracle cards. They're very simple. It's just, someone said to me a beautiful description, which was, they're just an invitation that your soul is listening. They're just there so that a message can come through, and whatever comes through on that card is right for you. Whether it's perfect to the definition or not, you have to trust what comes through because it's right for you.
Yeah, many, many stories about having a conversation with friends and picking 3 cards, and then the whole conversation was mirrored in the cards. I could give many examples. They're definitely a soul communication. And I talked about the crossing the threshold was in the hero's journey, and that's what I use. I think crossing the threshold is magnetic creation. So it's a step-by-step process. So the SoulSource Radiance system uses these it's the combination of this, the goddess warrior on the hero's journey, the whole steps, and the ultimate is the being. Like, we are radiant beings and we need to embody this in our whole being.
And when you're talking about crossing the threshold, do you mean like that rediscovery of coming back to yourself and remembering who you are, or like having a breakthrough in your life? So what do you mean by threshold?
It's just that there's different ways, in consciousness. When you learn to manifest, that is a threshold of living. When you consciously learn to bring in, that's how I interpreted it. And there, the last part, there's 17 steps, and there's three parts. Part 1, is separation or departure, initiations, or I call them the cosmic codes, or the return. So to be a hero, like, you're giving back to the world. You're drawing people together. You're sharing your gifts. A parent could be a hero because they're giving their gifts to their children. So that's the essence of being a hero on the journey. I have a gift for your guest. It's called 10 transformative steps to create fulfillment and flow.
Oh,
and this is just ways of being that really, some of them: resist nothing, the law of sufficiency, the attitude of sufficiency, letting feelings flow, letting go. But just simple little ways to live that are very, very basic. It's on my website.
beautiful.
So my website is soul-source.org. It is a bit complicated, but La Puma, and it's Puma, like the mountain lion, K, the initial, and lapuma.com. And if you sign up, that gift you can download that gift.
Beautiful. And I'll make sure to pop all those details in the show notes so people can just click on it and they don't have to worry about the dashes or the spelling or anything like that. But thank you for sharing that beautiful gift, because sometimes it's nice just to have simple how-to steps, or even if they're not how-to, it's inspiration, right? Okay, I can apply that in my life and create some change when I feel called to.
Yeah, very simple ways just to remember. Being proactive, because that's a really big big one.
Well, there's that saying, like, God helps those who help themselves, right? Because if you're not going to take steps to show the universe that you want, or what you want or desire, you're working towards it, they're not going to send it your way. Because if you're sitting there going, oh, I really want a new job, but you don't apply for any new jobs,
Right.
how are you going to get a new job?
So, I manifested my partner, and I literally went to one thing, but I did a lot of inner work. He went to everything, he went to a whole bunch. So but I did go to one thing, but inner work is really important, and there's some major processes. I wonder if you want me to give a tarot reading to your audience, like a 3-card.
Let's do it. That sounds fun. Let's do it.
Okay, so I got two on the floor. I usually pick 3. Ooh, yeah, 2, and they're beautiful. Okay, so the first one is Queen of Wands, and she's the seeker. So there's a leopard behind her. And so she's the one, she represents the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries. So she's like, I want to know who I am. And queens are the watery part of the element. And so they're the adepts or teachers. And this is the wands. Wands are the fire element, which is perceptual. So this is a card of really trusting and really searching inside for who you really are. Find that inner part of you, the soul part of you. And the leopard, she was a dark-haired woman, and the myth, the behind the card, she was a dark-haired woman that had a black panther, and she turned into this red-haired woman, and she wanted to keep the spots because this is where she's been. Remember where you've been, and just keep finding who you are, the self-esteem and recognition. And this particular card that fell on the floor, so which is our message, this is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is trust your intuition. It means independence and intuition and balance. So this is the second card of the deck. So she's a major arcana card. She's ruled by the moon, and she's in a very high position in the tree of life. She connects the crown with the sun. So it's the longest path. And this is so whenever this card comes up, I tell the person, if they're asking me a question, and reflecting, this is trust your intuition. So seek and you shall find, trust your intuition. And the last one. So
I wonder if it'll jump out again.
Another major arcana card. So we got a balanced card because there's this is the Hierophant, and this is the spiritual teacher. This is there's a child inside the heart. Trust your inner child. And this has to listen to the voice of your knowing. And this is kind of like, like the Hierophant, the teacher, the spiritual teacher. So these 2 cards symbolize the male and the female on the spiritual level. And the Emperor and the Empress represent them on the physical level. So that's really a powerful position. And these particular cards connect very high up in the tree of life, which is showing us where we go. So, and oftentimes the way I read them is that this is the body. The first card I read is body, mind, and feelings. And this particular card shows that, move that body, energize that body, because it's fire. And this one is use trust your, this is like you're going on a trip and you say, bring a towel. And I don't need a towel. You dialogue. And then all of a sudden you need a towel. I mean, that little intuition, that little voice, listen to that little voice come up. And this is the family energy. You see the child and I don't know if you see there's a star right there and
Yep, I can see it now. Yes.
And then there's the family. So this is Taurus energy, which is grounded. And this has the 4 elements, the 4 fixed elements, which is, being creative, grounded, innovative, Aquarius and Leo, fire, energy, dynamic. And they're on several cards. It represents, anyway. So this is for you guys.
What a beautiful, but how reflective of the conversation we've had today too, because it is that journey that we've been talking about, which is coming out of the mind, coming back into your intuition and allowing that balance to happen in your life and, surrendering. So what a beautiful way to capture what we've talked about as well. And I love that the cards flew out because clearly their energy is like, we want to be seen. Let me be seen. And as we start to finish our time together, Karina, I asked the guests that come on the show, if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
If I could heal or change something in the world, I wish that I could communicate with the leaders of our world right now. Just, what is spiritual to me is for the good of the whole. And that's what being spiritual means to me. And that message is look to the good of the whole, our environment, our earth, the mother. And I've been studying shamanic practices, and it's like earth-based as a healer, a quantum and shamanic. And they are really into, Pachamama, the earth mother. So to heal our earth and to think of what can benefit the most people is what I wish I could influence.
Yeah, which would be, but that's okay. We can hold space for that and hopefully create that ripple effect, like throwing the stone in the lake and not knowing how far that ripple will flow. So thank you, Karina. And just so people, if they want to come and check out your books or learn more with you, can you repeat your website just one more time, just so we've got that at the end?
KLAPUMA. That's my name. KLaPuma.com. Is my website. Beautiful. And my books are called Awaken, a Toolkit for Awakening. It's a series of books, and they all start with.
So for anyone listening, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, or subscribe. Share it with whoever you feel might resonate. If you want to connect with our beautiful Karina, you will find her details below. And please support us. You can follow us on our socials. You can come and check us out. And if you, like I said, and have no idea how much that makes an impact for us, that we know our message is being shared and heard and we're spreading light in this beautiful world. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Karina, so much for being on the show, giving us that beautiful tarot reading, but also for this beautiful journey from goddess warrior to hero, and how reaching over that threshold can truly allow you to step into that manifestation portal.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, Catherine, and thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
You're so welcome.
Blessings to you.
And to you.
Are you looking for an afternoon boost to support you until the children go to bed, or to get through that evening meeting? Why not reach for a cup of ceremonial cacao? It will boost your energy, reduce your inflammation, and also allow you to go to sleep at a decent hour. For more information on how to grab your ceremonial cacao, check out the link in the show notes for 10% off.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.